The dollar in your wallet is already dying. You just haven't felt the fever yet. But here's what keeps economists up at night, what they whisper about at conferences but never say on cable news. When a currency collapses, it doesn't stumble. It doesn't warn you. It falls off a cliff at 3 in the morning while you're sleeping. And by the time you wake up, a loaf of bread costs what your car payment used to be. We've seen it in Venezuela. We've seen it in Zimbabwe. We've seen it in Weimar Germany, where people burned cash for heat because firewood was worth more. And right now, with inflation numbers dancing around like they're hiding something, with the national debt climbing past $34 trillion like it's training for Everest, Americans are quietly wondering the same thing. What happens when the music stops? Here's what nobody tells you. When that day comes, gold won't save you. Not immediately, not when it matters most. Sure, gold holds value across centuries, across civilizations, but try walking into a desperate neighborhood with a gold coin and asking for antibiotics. You'll get robbed, possibly killed, and definitely not medicated. Gold is a long game. Collapse is a short fuse. And in that gap, between the old world ending and whatever comes next, the things that keep you alive, keep you healthy, keep you human, those become the new currency. The beautiful part? You probably already own them. You just don't know what they're worth. Yet. Let's start with the one that could save your life or become your retirement fund overnight. Antibiotics. That half-finished bottle of amoxicillin sitting in your medicine cabinet right now, the one you were supposed to finish but didn't because you felt better on day 4? In a post-collapse scenario, that bottle is worth more than a stack of hundreds. Here's why. Modern medicine has made us forget something terrifying. Infections used to kill people regularly. A cut from a rusty nail, a tooth abscess that went untreated for too long. Before antibiotics, these weren't inconveniences, they were death sentences. And when the pharmacies close, when the supply chains shatter, when the trucks stop rolling into your town because diesel costs more than the cargo, we go right back to that world. Now here's where it gets interesting, and I need you to understand this clearly. Veterinary antibiotics, the ones sold for fish tanks and livestock, are often chemically identical to human-grade medications. Amoxicillin is amoxicillin. The molecular structure doesn't care if it's going into a koi pond or a kindergarten teacher. This isn't medical advice, and I'm not telling you to self-medicate, but I am telling you that preppers have known this for decades, and in a collapse scenario, that knowledge becomes leverage. Stock what you can legally acquire now, learn proper dosages, understand what treats what. Because when someone's kid has a raging ear infection and no doctor is coming, you holding a course of amoxicillin makes you more valuable than the guy down the street clutching gold bars he can't eat. Second thing hiding in your house that'll make you rich when the system breaks: alcohol. And I'm not talking about your craft beer collection, as tragic as that loss might feel. I'm talking about high-proof spirits, vodka, Everclear, that bottle of whiskey your uncle gave you 3 Christmases ago that you never opened because you're more of a bourbon person. In a collapsed economy, high-proof alcohol becomes a Swiss Army knife of survival value. It disinfects wounds when the Neosporin runs out. It sterilizes tools when you're doing things you never imagined doing with kitchen knives and sewing needles. It preserves food through tinctures. It extracts medicinal compounds from plants when processed pharmaceuticals become memories. It numbs pain, both physical and psychological. And brother, there will be plenty of both. But here's the barter angle. Alcohol is consumable. It gets used up. That creates constant demand. Unlike a tool that someone buys once, a bottle of whiskey empties and they need another. You become a supplier in an economy that desperately wants what you're holding. And unlike drugs or other vices that might exist in that world, alcohol is socially normalized enough that trading it doesn't immediately mark you as a danger. You're not a dealer, you're a guy with a liquor cabinet that understands supply and demand.
There's a reason every frontier trading post in American history was half general store, half saloon. Alcohol has always been currency. We just forgot because we got comfortable. Now let's talk about something so simple, so cheap, so overlooked that you probably have a container of it within 15 feet of you right now. Salt. Plain, ordinary table salt. The stuff you sprinkle on eggs without thinking. In a functioning economy, salt costs almost nothing. In a collapsed one, salt becomes a pillar of survival. And here's the science that makes this true. Before refrigeration, salt was the primary method humans used to preserve meat. You can smoke food, you can dry food, but salting is faster, more reliable, and works in almost any climate. When the power grid fails and your freezer full of meat has about 48 hours before it becomes a biohazard, salt is the difference between winter protein and winter starvation. You pack that meat in salt, you draw out the moisture, you create an environment where bacteria can't survive. Suddenly, that deer your neighbor shot isn't rotting in a powerless freezer, it's hanging in a cool basement, preserved for months, because you had 20 pounds of salt you bought for $8 at Costco. But salt isn't just preservation. Your body literally can't function without sodium. Your nerves won't fire, your muscles won't contract, your heart rhythm depends on it. In a crisis where processed foods disappear and everyone's eating what they can grow or hunt, sodium deficiency becomes a real threat. The body needs what it needs, and it doesn't care that Walmart closed permanently. Salt also treats certain medical issues, makes oral rehydration solutions for dehydration, and historically was so valuable that Roman soldiers were partially paid in it. That's where the word salary comes from. When someone tells you a person is worth their salt, they're echoing an economy where salt literally equaled money. Fourth on this list, and this one requires some foresight, but it's sitting in your garage or your grandmother's forgotten drawer or the back of that garden shed you haven't opened since 2019. Seeds. Not just any seeds. Heirloom, open-pollinated, non-hybrid seeds. The kind where if you grow a tomato, save its seeds, and plant them next year, you get more tomatoes. This sounds obvious until you understand that most commercial seeds are designed not to reproduce true. They're hybrid varieties, optimized for one harvest, and their offspring are genetic dice rolls that might produce nothing useful. Here's the long game that turns seeds into generational wealth. When supply chains collapse, food becomes local by necessity. Whatever grows in your region is what you eat. And the ability to not just grow food, but to regenerate your growing capacity year after year makes you agriculturally sovereign. You're not dependent on seed companies that no longer exist. You're not hoping a truck shows up with vegetable starts. You're holding the genetic code for nutrition, and you can share it, trade it, or sell it to everyone around you who realized too late that they can't eat their lawn. One pack of heirloom tomato seeds costs $3 right now. Buy 20 varieties, store them properly, cool and dry, and they'll remain viable for years. When the collapse comes and your neighbor is trying to figure out why his hybrid cucumber seeds produced mutant inedible gourds, you'll be trading tomato plants for labor, for protection, for whatever you need. Seeds aren't just food. They're the promise of food, forever. In survival economics, that promise is priceless. And the fifth thing, and this one hurts a little because it means admitting something uncomfortable about how dependent we've become. Books. Physical, paper books. Specifically, skill-based reference books, medical guides, foraging manuals, carpentry basics, animal husbandry, water purification, solar and electrical fundamentals. The stuff that teaches you how to do what YouTube taught you before the internet became a memory. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us don't actually know how to do things. We know how to look up how to do things. We know how to watch a video, follow along, and pretend we've learned a skill
we'll forget in 3 weeks. But when the grid dies, when your phone becomes an expensive flashlight until its battery joins the void, when Google is just a word for a number you barely remember, knowledge that exists only online might as well not exist at all. A physical book on wilderness first aid doesn't need electricity. A printed manual on small engine repair doesn't require a cell tower. A field guide to edible plants in your region doesn't care that the internet stopped existing. And here's the barter angle. You can teach. When you hold knowledge that others need, you become valuable in a way that can't be stolen from you. Someone can take your gold. They can raid your medicine cabinet, but they can't extract the contents of your brain. And if you've supplemented that brain with reference material,
You become a library in a world that burned them all. Start now. Hit used bookstores, estate sales, library sales. Build a physical reference collection that covers medical, mechanical, agricultural, and tactical knowledge. Store them in a waterproof container. When people are trying to figure out how to set a broken bone, or filter water, or build a chicken coop from scrap materials, you'll either have the answer or have the book that does. That makes you essential. And in collapse economies, essential people survive. So let's bring this back to where we started. The dollar is a fiction we've all agreed to believe in. It works because we trust it. And trust is a fragile, temporary thing. When that trust breaks, and history suggests it eventually will, the transition period between the old economy and whatever replaces it will be brutal, chaotic, and shockingly fast. The people who survive it comfortably won't be the ones clutching precious metals. They'll be the ones who understood what humans actually need: medicine, disinfection, preservation, food production, and knowledge. You have time right now. Not forever, maybe not even long, but right now you can walk through your house and start seeing it differently. That liquor cabinet isn't a luxury, it's a trading post. That medicine cabinet isn't just first aid, it's an emergency pharmacy. That container of salt isn't seasoning, it's a food preservation system. Those seeds in the garage aren't a hobby, they're agricultural independence. Those dusty books aren't clutter, they're a library that survives the apocalypse. The collapse might not come tomorrow, it might not come for years, but the beautiful thing about this kind of preparation is that it costs almost nothing, takes almost no space, and loses almost no value if the worst never happens. Salt doesn't expire, alcohol doesn't spoil, books don't become worthless. You're not betting on disaster, you're hedging against it while continuing to live your normal life. And when the neighbor who laughed at preppers comes knocking because his kids are sick and the pharmacy is a burned-out shell, you'll have options. That's what this is really about, not paranoia. Options. The ability to choose your path when everyone else is being pushed. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe, because my entire family bet against me hitting 10,000 subscribers by Christmas. And honestly, I'd love to prove them wrong just for the look on their faces at dinner. Drop a comment telling me what country or city you're watching from, because this community is global, and I want to know where my people are. And if you want more content that actually prepares you for a world that's getting stranger by the week, stick around. We're just getting started.